So the only trade, if he's been bearish the entire year, the only time he enters a short is near the 2018 support. And rightfully so, Twitter roasted him for this. What is going on, crypto peeps? Welcome back to the Traveling Crypto. Let us just jump right into it since we have a lot to get into today. Our two best performing coins recently have been QKC and ZRX. Now, QKC is actually the best performing coin of the second half of 2018. Not in terms of total percentage gains. There have been some coins that have, shot up in the hundreds of percentage points. But in terms of consistency, here you see the ascending triangle that occurred in August and the breakout from the ascending triangle and this upward sloping trend line that hasn't been broken since. Now, a few of you were lucky enough to get in at the breakout of this ascending triangle. I got in somewhere a bit later than that after noticing that the momentum is just nonstop and the volume was decent. So far, we're up around 30% on QKC. Some people, like I said, are up a lot more. If you want access to those trade alerts, link is in the description. On ZRX was forming a descending wedge, and we traded the breakout of this descending wedge. And you can also see on the daily chart this good, healthy green volume that is exponentially growing as the days go by. I've actually opened a couple of positions on ZRX, first gaining around 46% before retracing back down to around the 0.236 fib level, and then entering another trade at the breakout of this, making another 18% or so before retracing now back down to the 0.382. So it looks like ZRX on the daily chart is respecting these fib levels somewhat, using them as support levels. Like I said, stopping at the 0.236 fib level before another bout of growth, and now finding support at the 0.382 fib level. Another coin that has been making waves is Ravencoin. I'm sure by now you guys have heard of it. This is Ravencoin's chart on the 1 hour chart. The reason I have it on 1 hour is because it's, such a new coin that there really isn't that much data for the 1 day chart. And it just got listed on Binance, 5-6 days ago. So there's even less information on the Binance chart. But if you take a look at it, I mean, a lot of you are asking whether you should get into this coin or not. And I'll just say that in situations like this is just pure speculation, and it's just a gamble, right? Not saying that it's a bad thing. You can have managed risk as part of your portfolio, like dedicate a certain section of your portfolio towards managed risks, as long as you protect yourself on that trade. But there really isn't anything from a technical perspective that can give you an indication or even a slight sense of what's going to happen in the near future, right? So we are now at all-time highs on Ravencoin. As I said, it's a very new coin, so all-time highs is relative, right? This is only a couple months old or whatever. So yeah, I mean, you can certainly FOMO into something like this as long as your risk is managed. I would set a tight stop limit below an identifiable support point. Me personally, I'm not getting into this just yet. I don't have that fear of missing out if something does moon and I'm not a part of it. There are plenty of other great trades to make, as I just showed you with QKC, ZRX, and we have a ton of other examples in the trade alerts. But yeah, it's not a bad thing to engage in speculative or risky assets as long as you know what percentage of your portfolio it constitutes and you have protections in terms of stop losses against those trades. Looking at Bitcoin in the Bitcoin USD, Bitcoin Tether saga, you'll see that still continues. Here is the price of Bitcoin on Coinbase, which is, as I said a couple of videos ago, the normalized Bitcoin price, right? You want to look at the price of Bitcoin on exchanges that don't include Tether, since there is still that Tether USD discrepancy. So you'll see that the price of Bitcoin is 64.32, and the price of Bitcoin using Tether, this is or on an exchange that has Tether, this is on Bitfinex, is 6,700. So that discrepancy is still in existence. I can understand why people are concerned because, we have had a discrepancy between between USDT price and USD price before. Like I said, back in April 2017, the Tether price was actually around 91 cents. But this is actually, taking a bit too long to normalize in terms of the price. It's getting too close for comfort, I should say. And what this shows is actually a lack of confidence by the general public or by crypto traders, because the Tether price is supposed to normalize once people start buying Tether or going into Tether at at the price that it's supposed to be, which is the pegged value of against USD. So $1 equals 1 Tether. However, people are willing to sell their Tether or buy Tether only at a discounted price, which is what is keeping the price of Tether below $1. And you'll see here on CoinMarketCap that the price of Tether, or the value of Tether, is close to 97.5 cents. So, still trading at a 2.5% discount from the USD value. Now, in terms of what's going on with Bitcoin, the Tether controversy aside, what's going on with Bitcoin, it's still respecting the descending triangle. Like, this is a 10-month long pattern, right? 10-month long trend line. So it's still respecting the resistance of the descending triangle. And you know what that means? That means that Tone Vays is still in the safe zone. Yes, as most of you know by now, Tone Vays epically placed a very risky short at almost the 2018 support. Now, we've all had less than optimal trades, but what makes this one amazing is that he claims this is his only trade on Bitcoin this year. So the only trade, if he's been bearish the entire year, the only time he enters a short is near the 2018 support. And rightfully so, Twitter roasted him for this. Crypto Twitter roasted him for this. You'll see here, Crypto Twitter actually had a field day with this, with a couple of prominent, crypto Twitter users commenting on that short. Shout out to Tone Vays for finally making his first and last Bitcoin trade this year. Almost liquidated within 12 hours. Welcome to real trading. Very different from predicting and paper trading. Now, I actually understand this criticism, because if you're marketing yourself as some sort of Bitcoin expert trader and you're selling services based on that persona, people, especially people who buy those services from you, would expect you to put your money where your mouth is, right? I actually didn't know that Tone Vays doesn't actively trade. I thought that he actively traded throughout the year and was actually implementing based on the analysis that he provides on a regular basis. And you'll see here, King BTC, Tone Vays' only trade of the year was shorting the bottom on margin. You can't make this shit up. Now, this led to a hilarious Twitter exchange that I'm about to show you, and actually got to the point where Tone Vays and CZ from Binance were indirectly tweeting at each other. So here's some guy named Ruben Rotterdam said, conspiracy theory, what if Binance halted the trading of Tether just to fuck with Tone Vays' publicly announced short? In which Tone responded, haha, considering I've called Binance a fraud exchange because of their useless scammy BNB token, it's possible they halted Tether in spite. But in reality, no one cares about one Bitcoin. Is just another scammy tactic, spelling there, to pump their unstable TUSD, which is a USDT knockoff. In response to this, another Twitter user, Plutus BTC, LOL at this guy, a Bitcoin maximalist that literally made the worst, most high-profile trade known to the public. Binance has done more for crypto than you ever will, Tone. At which CZ responded to that, LOL, old Tony. Ignore worthless comments, focus on building. This is just hilarious to me. Like, obviously, like I said before, we've all made less than optimal trades. We've all lost money trading at some point. But to execute your only trade on Bitcoin, and for that to be a short on margin at the 2018 support or near the 2018 support, is fucking hilarious. Now, what makes it even more funny is when he placed the trade, not only was it at the near the 2018 support, but it was during this day. It was right before, the spike here that we had, where the price of Bitcoin spiked to 77.88 on Bitfinex. And I think it only went up to around 68 or 6,900 on regular exchanges. So it was just hilarious that he almost got liquidated. I think he's still in the trade, and actually the trade itself might actually work out in the long run, especially if we continue to respect this descending triangle and eventually fall below 5,800. So, the trade itself might work out. It's just hilarious when he executed the trade and how too close for comfort the trade came to actually being liquidated. All right, that is it for this video. Again, sign up to the trade alerts if you want access to those. Link is in the description. Join the Discord. It's 100% free. Subscribe to the YouTube channel and hit that notification bell if you haven't already. Stay safe out there. Peace.